Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, hook 'em horns.
Adjacent. Very near, next to, or touching. Our tailgate is adjacent to the left field fence. ADJACENT. Adjacent.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. We are at Record ATX with our friend Bryce, and he is helping assist us in interviewing this fabulous, amazing,
yummer.
If you're Shelly's one of her best friend's husbands.
That's right.
And I think he is your husband's life partner.
He's one of them.
And I just love him because he also helps us with our taxes.
He saves our lives.
He saves our
He's
lives.
the wizard. He's
We
the wizard.
love him. Who do we have in the studio today?
Kurt.
Kurt. The end, Kurt.
We have Egon Stockenbojer.
Egon Stockenbojer. Okay, before we get started, tell me about the name, Egon. How do you have this amazing name, like Egon Stockenbojer? Where is it from originally?
It's so powerful.
It's German-Austrian descent, and actually, I'm Egon Jr., so it was my dad's name.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Were you close with your dad, or is he still living?
Yeah, as close as he would let you get to him.
Was he German? Like
he's Swiss. He
Swiss.
actually grew up in
Okay.
Switzerland. Yeah, my mother was German, grew up in Germany,
okay,
and my dad was Swiss.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah, finally.
to be here.
It's
I know.
part of tax season.
Well, I think like for Egon, tax season is year round.
it is.
Let's be clear.
It's turned into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think you're done in April.
He's
Hey,
a
now
tax
that you
man.
have all this time on your hands.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah,
no,
I wish.
it's like teachers. They're like, oh, you'll have the whole summer off.
We're like, no, we don't. We're in trainings the whole summer. Goofy.
We're
Anyway.
recovering from.
Yeah, we just have PTSD.
We have
from it all.
PTSD. Same. You're in tax held year round.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah.
I don't think you really get breaks.
He got
I
to play
tried
golf
to.
this week.
I did play golf. I'm trying to do more of it. I'm trying to just bite the bullet and say screw it and go out and do more stuff,
Yeah.
You need to for
It's
yourself.
out there.
We're not spring
beyond
chickens anymore.
taxes.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. You got to do things for you because you're
Well,
doing so much for everybody else.
And now that Jake is not at home, you're empty nesting, you have that hot wife waiting for you at home.
So Egon is married to Kim, and they have Jake
Yes.
and
Cassidy.
And Jake lives 3.5 hours away, and he works with a family and lives with the family. But you guys see him like it seems like almost every other week, because but he's a grown man. How old is Jake now? He's like 23.
He's going to be 25 in a
25.
couple weeks.
In a couple weeks.
On the 19th.
Yeah. So Jake, if you don't mind, we've already told the story, but he's on the spectrum, and he's a really good buddy with Coulter.
That's right.
And you guys have been part of the gravy train.
We're the TISM club.
Oh, gosh. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that.
Well, we can say whatever we want because we
actually have it.
Right, we get a whole pass for that.
We get to say whatever we want. So
Got it. Okay, so you guys live south of the river. Okay, what do you think? Do you love Circle C? Do you love that HOA?
Oh, hell no. I could do without the HOA. I love the community and everything. We bought in there back in 2006.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of coming. It was a hot market for that time.
Yeah.
And Kim actually found the house, and it had a lockbox and a sign in front, but yet it wasn't listed yet. And so we kind of bullied our way in, and the house was like not ready to show or anything. And then we got in a multi-offer situation. It was just kind of, but we weren't even the highest bid, but then he didn't like who got he accepted the first bid. He didn't like the inspection report. They want him to do everything on the punch list.
Yeah.
And so I had my inspector go out there and he said, it's like a couple grand worth of stuff. And I was like, hey, we'll take the deal for 10 grand less.
Yeah.
And so we ended up.
Yeah, you gotta.
And so we were very fortunate at the time because I was like scared. I was like, wow, this is a lot of house.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just going off on my own for a couple of years there.
Yeah.
And so it was a scary time, but we bit the bullet, and I'm glad we did at the time.
Yeah, because you have
a great
sweet house.
I love the location.
It's a great house.
And I love your pool, and you guys are constantly doing upgrading and everything. Your house is so
It's
beautiful.
And
beautifully
Kim's
taken.
timing pre-COVID, like when we did the pool, just finished in 2019 at the end.
yeah.
And all the landscape was all done in like March of 2020.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So it was
before
just the
everything went up,
perfect oasis.
it was, we were
Yeah.
very, very fortunate. to
So
get
during
the-
COVID, did you swim in a mask?
we didn't ask anything. I mean, we played like, and Steve and Adrian were out there playing golf every day. I was working, like I didn't miss a beat. I was going to the office, but it was just like I was driving on Thanksgiving, because everything was like, there was nobody on the road.
No,
Yeah.
crazy.
And even when we were doing the landscape project, we had about like a dozen trucks converged on our house doing all the yard work and stuff afterwards. And everybody's like looking out their windows and stuff at us. And we're all like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is a good
And these
time
guys
to
were
do
happy
this.
to have work.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
and we were like, well, what's it going to be, like 3 months before you can start? And they're like, no, we can start Monday, ma'am. And this is like Wednesday.
Wow.
And they started that next Monday. And then all of a sudden, the hammer came down with
Yeah, the hammer.
Yeah.
Then they had to do landscaping with the mask on.
No, they were, I don't know what they did. They just got it done and it was cheap compared to today.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh my
anyway.
gosh, I know. I remember
That
right
Kim-
before the shutdown, we were all in left field and we were playing like our own little baseball game.
That was after the shutdown, Jody. We had
whatever.
one big blowout before
It really
in left
the
field.
hammer.
We had this big
Super spreader.
yeah, we had a super spreader. We had a super spreader event and we got a lot of shit for it. It was like
Whatever.
the day of the shutdown. We were like, we know this is gonna happen. Let's go ahead and
Party it up.
party it up. And we had this big softball game in left field.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just like, I hated that whole
Oh.
social experiment.
The
anyway,
Ranch Covidians.
so you're a Gemini, and Geminis have like the twin situation. Do you feel like there's two personalities in you?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Kim that.
I don't think so. I don't
You
think
seem
And I'm
pretty
kind of
straight up.
on the cusp, so I kind of think I got some Taurus in me too.
Like
more Taurus,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're probably more Taurus.
I would say more
That would
Taurus.
make sense.
Definitely not two personalities. You're pretty straight shooter.
I think so.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
I'm from southern Connecticut on the New York border, so about an hour outside of New York City, hopping on a train.
right.
that
What
is.
was that like?
It was pretty interesting, being able to get in the city and hop on a train, and 40 minutes later, you'd be
Yeah.
like in Grand Central Station. So
I
spent a
love
lot of
Grand
time.
Central Station. It's so
spent a lot
pretty.
of time, growing up there, and was, having European parents. My parents migrated back in the 50s, and both of them lived through World War II. At the tail
Wow.
end, they were all little kids. My mom was like eight or nine, at the end of the war.
Wow.
But so they all lived through that. And my mom being German, they had it much worse, obviously,
Yeah.
than my dad being in Switzerland, where everything
Yeah.
was neutral.
Everybody, yeah.
But my dad
Allegedly.
remembered, because his dad was a plumber, remembered that having like the pilots who all crashed over there, whoever made it to Switzerland. And so they actually had an American, a Russian, and a German guy all working together.
Oh,
So they were all
wow.
working for his dad, who had a plumbing
Oh.
company.
Wow.
And so
Just waiting out the disaster.
kind of, yeah. And I guess they
Yeah.
probably got shot for desertion later
Oh,
on or something.
man.
But
Oh gosh, that's
But anyway.
terrible.
But they made it.
but anyway, so a very different experience at the end of the war. But that kind of
How did they
hardens
meet?
you.
How did
They actually met at a dance hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so my mom left home at 16 because she couldn't stand her dad. Her dad was a slave driver, and
Like
basically,
literal?
yeah, he owned a supermarket. So after the war, but everything was so rationed. Like you think, oh, you own a supermarket, you can get whatever you want. It wasn't like that.
No.
And they were actually French controlled at the end. So it was, and they were still bitter about World War One.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was,
Right.
it was like Pepe Le Pew, it was like taking over. So the Americans would come in and bring like supplies and stuff on trains and just like dump it off.
Wow.
And she told me all these stories, but so anyway, she said
Fascinating.
she wanted to get a job, didn't want to work under the dad anymore. She was the oldest child, so
Okay.
she got stuck with the lion's share of the work. All the other kids learned, who were younger, like they did after school activities and stuff, so they wouldn't have to work.
Yeah.
So they're all like in band and sports and whatever kind of thing. But she got
the blunt.
She got the blunt.
Wow.
And so she ended up taking off at 16, moved to Switzerland, and then her sister went and visited her a couple years later, and they went out dancing and actually met my uncle and my dad at the same time. So then the two sisters came to the States like 6 months after that.
Wow.
And then my dad and my uncle followed, and then they were all, because those were the only ones that knew each other. So they were about 45 minutes away from us. So we grew up very close with my aunt and my uncle.
Oh, wow.
My Uncle Kurt.
Can you imagine like growing up at that time and how brave your mom had to be to make all those movements?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to cross the ocean at that time.
Right. No, I agree.
That's mind-blowing.
It's gutsy. Yeah. Well, and they had each other, so they kind of, and they lived at like the YMCA or something of all places when they got here. Kind of like, I guess they looked at that as the American hostel,
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh.
So her and her sister, I know your mom is passed. Is your aunt still with us?
No, she passed also. She actually passed about 6 months before my mom did.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she actually had like a very fast, aggressive brain cancer,
Oh, no.
and it took her real quick.
Mm.
Oh, gosh. So did you have siblings? How many?
Yeah, I have an older brother who's 5 years older, which kind of paved the way because my mom was super strict. My dad was just kind of like, like he'd be like, I remember one time I stashed a 12-pack of beer in the bushes, and I was caddying back then, so I was like maybe 16 or something like that, 15, 16. And then I come home and my beer's in the fridge.
Oh, nice.
And I had them in the bushes the night before, and they're half gone.
Dad.
And so
Your dad's like, I found this beer.
and my mom happened to be in Europe at the time, so it's just he and I. And then he's kind of like, "Hey, what'd you put the beer in the bushes for? It gets skunked. It gets skunked that way." And I was like, "Oh, I got the coolest dad."
Aw. That's awesome.
But they were very liberal about the drinking. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
because
just-
they're
European.
European.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different. And we also, the drinking age was 18 for
Yeah.
us back when I grew up. It was
Yeah.
18.
When they just survived a war. It's like, whatever.
I know. That's so little to them. There's
Like,
have
have a glass of wine.
Would you say you had like a really great growing up experience? And
Yeah, it was pretty normal. I mean, we did a lot of like winter activities, being New England. My dad grew up skiing, so we had like a ski house in Vermont and stuff that we kept actually up till 2018. Jim and I sold it then. But, when Kim and I got together, we lost all four of our parents within a 10-year stretch.
oh god,
Yeah. It was like
it was
a lot.
aggressive. Yeah.
It was a lot,
Yeah.
and it was it was spread
It's
out.
like, you just had a child, he has autism, and all of y'all's parents pass away. And it was like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
all within like a 10-year
Yeah.
stretch. So we've been through a lot. We've been together going on 24 years. Next
24 years
Wow.
next weekend.
Incredible.
and we had a lot happen in this first, but yeah.
That's crazy. So where did you go to college?
I went to college in New Haven, Connecticut. I wasn't the best high school student. I was mediocre, and it took me a couple years. I was kind of messing around, and because I had that older sibling, I think that had a lot to do with because he was hanging out with the older kids and they were all smoking weed in the 70s, So, and then they were like, hey, you smoke too, so you can't tell on us. So it's like, so I'm like 8 years old.
They're hotboxing
They're like handing me the pipe, It's like.
We did that to our poor sister, Amy. We had her smoke our mom's cigarettes with us.
Yeah, all that so you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like, you can't have any more.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
So
I was a little delinquent. I guess,
so elementary, middle school, y'all had like ski and
we did skiing and then a lot of like hockey and stuff. We had a pond in our backyard. So,
oh wow!
So us younger kids would go and like it'd snow or something, and we would like take all the snow off, and then the bigger kids would come and like bump us off.
That's incredible.
I love that.
I love that lifestyle.
Did anybody fall into the river like It's a Wonderful Life and you have to go save them and then you lose your hearing and then you can't go to war and then you have to stay back in the small town?
Yeah, that's what happened.
We definitely
about the Stockenbojers, Jody.
That would happen where the puck would end up going on the softer ice and then people would be tapping and you hear like crack and definitely people fell through. We didn't have it wasn't that deep, the pond. But
oh my gosh,
but people would fall in and it's freezing, so you're like, you're headed of the you don't want to fall in either.
Yeah, well, but now that's a therapy. It's called.
I know.
It's called.
Shelly took me to the contrast therapy. I was like, I cannot do this.
Getting that ice
cold.
So good.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like I'm being traumatized. This is not okay with me. I can stay in the heat all day.
Yeah.
But getting in that cold,
she couldn't even
water,
put her feet in.
I was like, I felt like my feet were going to break.
I don't even want to get in my pool right now. It's like in the low 70s.
Oh my God, it feels so good right now.
So how do you you lived in a very cold area in the U.S. and now you're in one of the hottest areas.
Yeah, what brought you to Texas?
Why did you come to Texas?
So that was my ex-wife. She was in the service a couple of years. They kind of had this program where you come and you do like a 4-year stint, which also included the time she was in residency, the first 2 years, and then she had to have 2 years of active duty. And so we had to have a place to go. And I actually worked for a company that they were doing a lot of merger and acquisition stuff at the time. And I was contracting there, and then they had an acquisition in Austin. And so I hit it off with the owner, or part owners now, because they sold off half the business to the company I worked for. And then essentially she owed the 2 years. So she actually originally got stationed in Del Rio, but then got transferred to San Antonio. So I was actually commuting for about a year and a half from San Antonio to Austin every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put like 120,000 miles on my car. So
Oh, 1 year.
in like 2.5 years.
Oh,
wow. Like that.
What a nightmare.
It was. Yeah, that was a lot. And then we ended up landing in San Marcos, and then her and I split up. And had I not made it here, my whole life would be different. Obviously, I wouldn't have met Kim and, all of that. And
wouldn't met me?
Absolutely, right. Or all y'all.
You wouldn't have met your soulmate, Adrian.
Yeah, right.
And Steve.
Good Steve.
Steve. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip high school. You were talking about high school and college, that you were like, college took you a while.
Did it?
I wasn't the greatest student. I went to, kind of a commuter university, but New Haven's a fun place.
I always think Animal House.
That's where, we were Animal House. Yeah, we did the Deathmobile for one of our spring events and stuff. Like, we had a guy who actually looked like John Belushi, but he danced like Rerun from. Remember that show? What was it?
Yeah.
What's happening? No, not what's happening. It was, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what was the name with Rerun? Look it up. That's hilarious.
But so he was quite the character, and so he pops out of like the cake of the Deathmobile and we won like most outrageous, which was like a keg party, which was awesome for us.
Yeah.
So we were always throwing keg parties around football games so that the football players wouldn't show up because they would drink all the beer in like 2 hours.
Oh my god.
You'd have like 15 kegs gone, and then they get unruly because they're big. And, and I actually 1 year, so we actually had, it's interesting, where the USFL folded. Remember that? Like Herschel Walker and all those guys. Well, it folded all around the time. So we ended up picking up the assistant coach for the New Jersey Generals, which was owned by Donald Trump. And so
Weird.
he became our coach because everybody's scrambling for work because they were in a lawsuit, so they missed a season. And so everybody was trying to get work. So we picked up, and so we started winning games. And the quarterback they brought in at the time and recruited ended up being my roommate for a while. He didn't want to sleep he didn't want to be in the same dorm with all the players during the season. And it's just by dumb luck. And so,
Who was the quarterback?
I don't even remember his name.
Okay.
Paul, actually, it was Paul Kelly or something like that. I don't think he went pro or anything because we were Division II. So,
Yeah.
but we had a really good coach. I
Nice.
mean, because the Jersey Generals, they were good. They were pretty good. They were like in the top of the USFL.
How fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, but having that environment, and so I'd come there and they'd be all watching All My Children, like in the middle of the day on my black and white set that I had for my parents. It was like a 21-inch. So it was, like a big giant box thing, that I brought from home and stuff. And then they're like, and so he's got the whole front line and they're all smoking weed. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And it's like, this never gets out of this room. About
Until today.
About all my children and stuff.
Oh
it was like,
my
that was
gosh.
pre-cell phone.
Did you watch All My Children?
I kind of got sucked into it with them,
I know you love Bravo. I know you love Bravo.
And by that time, I kind of burned out like smoking weed in like high school, and so I was off that and just like more of a drinker, And so I would sit there and hang out with them sometimes.
Well, you got contact high. You got hotboxed.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out with Adrian and Steve.
Oh yeah, I know. They're like contact gummy.
Oh my God. Contact gummy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Were you in a fraternity?
I was.
What fraternity? Shout out.
Zeta Beta Tau, it was called. So, and they have the house here, like we always made the joke because we would go to these annual events sometimes. And then they would, some of the Zeta Beta Tau people get flown in on private jets from the alumni and stuff.
Yeah.
And so the Texas guys come rolling in where their sprinkler system was worth more than our frat house.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, which was predominantly Jewish, but where I was, there was hardly any Jewish people in there.
Oh, wow.
And it was just.
Are you still involved with your frat?
Not so much, but I kind of keep tabs on them, and they get together during the spring event each year, and they'll have a gathering and a big barbecue for a tailgate for the football games and stuff.
I think you should take your hot wife to a ZBT event.
Did you learn a secret handshake, and can you teach it to us right now?
Nope. Sorry, I'll have to kill you.
How was your?
What about? Did you get?
What was your
haze?
It was crazy. We had to eat some raunchy stew called kunkel stew, and it was it just got so raunch, and every pledge class would add something to it, and so it got real nasty. I mean, and it was a lot of hazing going on for about 6 weeks. And back then, it was they pushed the envelope. It was the 80s, so it was. Yeah, and then we got dumped off at the end. Of course, you're basically been tarred and feathered, on Hell Night, they call it, the night before. And then so my big brother kind of slipped me $50 so we could cab it back.
Aww.
And then, of course, they're basically giving you a cavity search, so you're got it shoved up your rear end and stuff. and they at least they hosed us off before they dumped us off out of the trunk, blindfolded. And so we're in the middle of nowhere, but I kind of was near the spot that they dumped us off at, so I kind of knew where we were at.
Oh, nice.
And so we just had to hoof it 5 miles.
Yeah. So you pocketed the $50?
I did pocket the 50.
Of
and
course you did.
and then of course, so we got back to the house. My car was there, and of course they're all hanging out partying at the house. So we just kind of snuck and hopped in my car and took off because we didn't want to go back in because they would have continued the abuse. So we were we're going home and we're going to sleep.
We're going to sleep.
And then the next
we're
day,
locking our door.
And then, I know, because they came and banged on the door at 3 a.m. When I lived at the YMCA, we had a dorm room there.
Oh, wow.
Everything leads to YMCA.
I know. our university, because we didn't have enough room on campus.
Yeah.
They actually rented out the top floor for men only at the YMCA in downtown. So I got to go hang out at Yale and go to parties there and stuff.
Fun.
Yeah, all this like Skip and Bob and Chip,
Oh my gosh. How
kind of
fun.
thing. It was pretty
What
cool.
an adventure.
It was an adventure.
Is that where you met your ex-wife?
No, I didn't. I didn't meet her till later. Like dated and things like that.
Yeah.
But we had a university that was like 20,000 students called Southern, which was close by, about 15 minutes. So ours was mainly a commuter school, Division II, but Southern is kind of like, I would say, Texas State comparison. Everybody's trying to feed into UConn from there who can.
Okay.
All my smart friends all went to UConn.
Okay.
So,
Well, and the funny thing is we consider you our smart friend.
I know.
well, I got smarter as I got older, but back
Yeah.
then, because of how badly I did my first couple of years of high school, I was more limited in my choices, you know. So
That's
You're very
incredible.
smart.
What an incredible adventure.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So ended up down here, never
Yeah.
looked back, you know,
Yeah.
got
You're
divorced
like, no
in 99, like 2000, or 99, I got divorced officially.
Do you miss
Kim's
the
like, the ink wasn't even dry when her and I first met.
Oh, wow.
She's
Nice.
like, that's what she was saying.
Do you miss the cold weather though?
I do not. It actually was terrible for my skin. So this is actually way better because I can tell, like, when we get those cold snaps here and then my skin starts getting irritated.
You may
and
have
stuff.
an allergy to
I
cold
do.
weather. So does Harry. He has that same thing.
Yeah.
You get like a lot of eczema and stuff
Yes,
like that. And
yes,
stuff. But I
really
mean, I
bad.
grew up with it and
Yeah.
and dealt with it and everything. But
Yeah.
the skiing, I miss the skiing.
Yeah.
But we grew up on ice, unlike going out to the Midwest where you have all that nice powder.
Yeah.
We grew up on man-made snow predominantly. And so it seemed like it snowed there more in the 70s and 80s at the ski house. But, and then they had to start making a lot more snow and stuff.
Global warming. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Conspiracy hat.
Yeah,
right.
where's your tinfoil hat?
So when you moved to Austin, where do you like to go around town now? Well, I know you're a good chef. So is it hard to
Oh
leave
my
your
gosh.
house?
Egon's ribs.
Yes.
Yeah, we all have our special, your husband's, the brisket, right? He's a specialist at that. And then
So good.
ribs are kind of my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our go-to places, and then sometimes, Kimmy will be, because y'all go out a lot.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so-
a lot. We go out a lot.
Well, I'm working, so I'm working a lot. So, but y'all go out, and so you try different places. So
Yeah.
she'll, say, "Hey, this place is real good," and so
Yeah.
we'll go do.
Well,
stuff.
you work really close to Jody's house.
Yes.
And so you get to try all the good food up here.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, there are some good restaurants, but you have to really know where you're going and get
What
some
do
good
you eat when you're at work?
I'll DoorDash sometimes, and then I've got my my go-to places.
What do you
where-
eat? What do you get?
I mean, it could be Panda, or
Oh.
it might be a Torchy's right down the street,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Something easy. We got Pizzeries.
One time I was a little hungover and I had dropped one of the kids had something to do and I went to drop them off and I was like, I'm going to get some Panda Express. And then it got in the car and I got so nauseous from the smell. I threw up into the Panda bowl. And then I was like, I can't eat that ever again. So-
No, thanks. No, thanks.
You don't go to Bartlett's or
oh, yeah.
I love Bartlett's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right down the road. Yeah, we
John
we'll do
loves
that.
Bartlett's.
Yeah, and
I think it's the
sometimes-
darkest restaurant. I feel like I'm eating in the dark when I'm there. I don't even know what's on my plate. It's my kind of lighting for sure, but I'm also I'm in a restaurant. I kind of want to see what I'm eating.
Yeah.
They do have really good string fries, and I don't really like a lot of string fries, but they have their roast beef sandwich, which is delish.
Delish.
I love it there.
Pineapple ribeye.
Delish.
Mm.
So what would be a lickable plate for you other than your own
Ribs. The best
and-
ribs.
What is Steve?
Kim's
Kimmy.
potato salad.
Kimmy's
Yeah,
potato.
oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
And the macaroni salad.
And you know what? I think one time I asked Kim for her potato salad recipe. I think she left off one of the ingredients, so it wouldn't be as good. I was like, this does not taste like her potato salad.
Well, and I don't know if you've ever witnessed her make it, but it's old style. Like she peels the potato with a knife.
And then
And she puts a lot of dill.
a lot of dill.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big
that is
deal, and it's a lot
that
of
is
dill.
the game changer.
It is the best potato salad in town.
Yeah, I do think it's by look, like when she cooks it.
It's so good.
It's
It
so
is one of my
good.
favorite potato. I'm very picky about my potato salad because I don't like store-bought potato salad
No.
at all. I like
Hers is
that one, and I like
hers is-
Salt Licks.
I like a
it's very different.
dry potato salad. It's not overly
Mayo-y.
yeah, or mustardy.
Or mustardy.
Yeah.
And then like I like Salt Licks, but that's more of a German style potato
that's
salad.
like a potato
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like
yeah.
delish too. But
scallops.
does
better.
Steve even cook?
Yeah,
Has he ever
cooks.
cooked? What
What
does
does he cook?
Well, that's a good question.
I don't think he cooks.
I don't think he cooks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he definitely cooks for him and Logan and stuff like that. And he's grilled a couple of times.
Is he good at it? I mean, he can't be good at
I
everything.
mean, I'm trying to
obviously
remember.
none of us are
like, none of us are like, ooh, Steve makes da da da
best
really
hot
great.
dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So I'm gonna say
But he
no.
brings the steaks and like lobster tails and
He
stuff.
does.
No,
But
he contributes. I'm not saying he's not contributing.
No, I wasn't saying that.
He gets them from the store.
Well, usually we're hanging out like at the lake house
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we're like going to play golf. And so we're not at his place to be
Yeah.
able to even really do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times though, even when we're at the nest, we're kind of like, nobody wants to really cook after we've played around. And
Yeah.
so we're hitting JJ's barbecue
Oh,
or
yeah.
something instead.
So the nest is your lake house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's the sometimes lake house.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
know.
Yeah,
more off than on lately.
I know.
That whole area, bless its heart.
I know. So you guys bought a lake house, and unfortunately, in the Austin metropolitan area, I guess it would be all of these lakes that they get drained. Some of them are at constant level, but sometimes, like a lot of people first buy a lake house, they don't really know if it's going to be constant or not. Or now you know.
Well,
And even if it's disclosed, you don't even know. Like if you're looking at it, you're like, well, how bad can it get? And then
I mean, they have
you
trees
live there and
down
you're like,
now.
wait a minute, they could build a whole city over here without that lake.
So bad.
So we had a lake house on off of Eck Lane. John's family had bought they built this lake house over there. And before, Lake Travis was like always flowing. I mean, the lake was great. And then it started getting drained more and more and more. And now it just goes
management.
further and further. And then you would see people's boats and their, their piers and all of that. And then you started seeing trees growing in the middle, and then there's an island over there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is so sad.
It's so sad. Lake Travis is
I
so
know.
sad.
It's so sad. Anyway, I know that's really a hard thing, but you have a beautiful lake house. I've been there a couple of times. It's really pretty. It's still a nice eagle's nest.
It is a nice eagle.
And I like that you called it that. That's like
It was
Actually,
it was named that.
It was named that before, yeah.
I think
And the
that's a
sign
neat
and
thing
everything.
to name your house.
It was perfect for Egon to have the eagle's nest.
Yes, for sure.
But we wanted to name it the Buzzards. They like roosting there a lot because you're up on the cliffs.
Yeah.
It's like the Buzzards roost.
The buzzard roost.
Do you love live music? Do you love music?
Yes, he
Oh, yeah.
loves music.
Yeah, of course.
And
Egon has a big birthday. They're going to Vegas.
oh, y'all, Kim loves Vegas.
Oh yeah, we all love Vegas.
I do not, but that's okay. It's not about me. What do you love about Vegas?
Just the partying, and then I like dabbling in the gambling and stuff. Not the $50 tables or nothing, but
No.
we found some pretty good places, like either going into Old Vegas or
I know. I
there's
love
a
all Vegas.
Oyo around the corner. Actually, it was from our last trip. The Oyo had $5 tables during the day and $10 at night. It was right across from the MGM. We stayed there last time. Just so happened the rodeo was in town.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was insane. It's like, God, we can't get away from these cowboys cowboys and stuff, cowgirls. And it's like, it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we saw Lainey Wilson. So we stayed at the same hotel. Didn't realize they also had the rodeo. So, and it was mid-December. And so it was a lot of fun and everything. And then the Oyo's right next door. And the funny thing was Steve had texted me and said, hey, if you get a chance, go over to the Oyo. It's like real cheap and it's a real, like 60s throwback hotel, like the red velvet carpet and all of that. It's cheesy, but the drinks were flowing because now you go to the casino and they're hardly even giving you free drinks anymore. They maybe come around once in like 3 hours or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
I've never experienced that.
I've never been given a free drink. At Vegas. I'm not a high roller.
Don't gamble.
I'm like, my quarter thing.
Exactly.
So I understand that's like really for the high dollar gamblers.
Kimmy loves to gamble.
Oh yeah,
she loves it.
Yes,
that's her favorite.
So with your big birthday coming up and you're going to Vegas, what music are you going to go see?
So we're going to go see Kevin Chesney.
Yes,
we're seeing him over at the Sphere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so my cousin's coming with her husband. It's her birthday on mine. Well, mine's actually the week before, but we're celebrating we're going the day after Memorial Week day.
Yeah.
So we're leaving the day. So it should be quiet that week. And
that's coming right up.
Yeah, that's coming right up. So her birthday is actually that next day. And then we got stuff lined up the whole week. My brother's coming out. He's never been to Vegas.
Oh, fun.
And my sister-in-law is like dying to go travel. And he's like an anti-traveler. But we'll see if he kind of loosens up some.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
she
y'all
is such a doll.
Oh, we do love
She's
Erica.
awesome.
She's
awesome.
amazing.
We saw her recently.
We love her too.
All of your nieces are amazing.
Yeah,
they're incredible.
They are incredible. And we definitely like Erica. We love her. And she was very helpful, at times too. And we were struggling with Jake and stuff.
Yes.
She's helped us through some rough spots.
She has a halo.
We saw her recently and she's just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Those Stockenbojer girls are gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And they're all getting married off. I mean, she's the last one.
Yeah.
She'll be the last one. So,
we know you're a big sports guy and you're a Patriots fan.
Yeah. It's hard to be now that Brady's gone.
How did you know that?
Because he used to wear those Patriot shirts all the time.
Okay.
And we would watch him just gloat about the GOAT all the time.
But I have to say, that was funny when they were playing the Falcons. And of course, everybody in the house was for the Falcons. We had a party at the Nest. And then, and I'm quietly in the corner. And then, of course, that fourth quarter comeback, Adrian's like doing the happy dance.
Yeah.
And then the fourth quarter comeback. And it's like, I'm just going, like quiet, party of one, because everybody was like,
oh my gosh.
And everybody was like, I can't believe it. Adrian just got real quiet.
Oh, I think he's used to the Falcons losing. It's not new news.
I would say you're a very polite New England. New England, most people are polite there. So you're a very polite fan. You're not like overly gloaty.
It's hard to gloat now. You don't have Belichick anymore. And but actually, my mother-in-law got me really interested in Dallas. So I do. Yeah. That would be like my number 2.
Oh yeah. Team, so. Your wife walks around in Dallas Cowboy gear.
Oh yeah, and I have Dallas Cowboy hats and shirts and stuff too. So that would be my number 2. But really, it was my mother-in-law who got me into. She would watch all the Cowboy games and stuff. So
yeah. What do you think about Bill Belichick's new girlfriend?
Oh, that's interesting. Hey, if you can get away with it.
Yeah. Bravo you.
Yeah, bravo you, I guess.
Yeah. Did you see his interview with all the holes in his shirt?
I did not see that.
Very weird. And she kept interrupting, saying, we're not going to talk about that. It was very strange.
Yeah. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Oh, good for him. I did see when the GOAT got roasted, they went after Belichick for his girlfriend.
They went after him pretty hard. I heard, I think it was Kevin Hart. He was saying, he was like, how does it feel to give up your whole family for your losing season of football? It was like, ouch.
Oh my gosh. That roasting was painful. Did you watch Tom Brady?
I did not.
They went harsh on him. They went harsh on him. I don't know. I like him. I think he's actually Tom Brady to me is a
Oh
good
my
guy.
gosh, he's
I don't
adorable.
know.
He
very
does look
cute.
like a robot though.
He does. He looks a little too perfect.
Yeah.
He looks a little too perfect.
Even in
So-
his roasting, he's just like,
He just I would have just put earplugs on it just like hilarious.
Bravo goat.
So what is your favorite sports memory?
My favorite sports memory. Actually, I would have to say UT winning that game against USC.
The national championship.
That national
against
championship.
Young, yes.
That was like just one of the most spectacular.
I know. We were there. John and I were there with Lewis and Kate, and it was pretty amazing. I mean, I could not believe it. I mean, John and I think we have a picture of us like with a cigar in our mouth. I don't smoke cigars, but it was just like, we were like, this is the best day of our lives. I mean, except for the birth of our kids,
It's the fourth best day of our
that was an
lives.
amazing event and evening. And then there was actually, and I'm not a huge tennis fan, but there was a tennis match that I watched. I can't remember. It was like a Swiss player and then this like Spanish player, and I can't think. And actually, it went on for like 8 hours. They just battled it out, and it was for like Wimbledon or something. And they battled it out for 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's incredible.
And it just went on. And actually, McEnroe was there. He was an announcer. He was like in tears. He was like, thank you for the most spectacular sporting event, like mostly everybody would ever see and would never see again. So
Oh my God.
I can't remember the names of, God, I can't remember the names.
Did you play tennis?
I played some, yeah. We had some friends who like belonged to a club, like a swim club and tennis and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy. It was just like a club up the road from us. So, and they had a hockey rink too. So
fun.
yeah, a lot of my friends played on the hockey team. My parents wouldn't let us like play football and stuff because they didn't want it to interfere with skiing. So if you got injured in football season and broke an arm or a leg or something, then you're basically wouldn't be able to ski. So anything that interfered with that. But I played baseball growing up. I did Little League, and we had a really good team. We won the like city championship a couple of times.
What position?
I floated around. I played catcher a bit,
Uh-huh.
and then I also played. I was shortstop.
I went still home with you
Shorts.
as a catcher. I'd be
Yeah,
like, okay,
really?
I'll stay out third.
I got leveled by one guy who actually got cut by the Minnesota Vikings later on. But and I went to or elementary school with him up through like 6th grade, and he was like so dominant in sports. This guy EJ Donahue, and he went and tried out. Of course, he went on to college and was like a superstar. But this guy was so faster and stronger than everybody. I mean, it's just like really dominant. But the funnel gets real narrow in the NFL. So, but he decked me and knocked me like 15 feet into the backstop. I was covering the line, and we ended up losing that. And that was actually for the county championship.
Oh man!
And so we were playing his team, and but yeah, I got decked.
Decked.
And I mean, he rung my bell.
Wow!
It's like one of those moments that you remember.
Oh yeah,
getting like
core memory.
pretty much knocked out.
Yeah.
It's like he leveled me.
I think the match you were talking about was the Isner Mahut match of 2010 Wimbledon. It's the longest one. It was 8 hours.
Yeah, who were the players?
His name is Isner. His last name was Isner, and then so it's Nicholas Mahut or Mahut. He's from
that
French.
Is not it.
Not that one. Well, that was the longest one. 8 hours.
Wow!
On the court 18 at Wimbledon.
Wow!
So I don't know if there's another one, but
there was
the longest one.
Yeah, and it was
ever.
two prominent players of the time, and they were constantly battling it out.
Man,
As a matter of fact,
crazy.
the Spanish fellow I'm thinking about just retired last year.
Wow, I can't imagine. That seems like I've never heard of one going that long.
Hey, of all the the big sporting events like Wimbledon, Super Bowl, like which one would you like to go to the most?
Oh, a bucket list thing?
Yes.
I would. It would definitely probably be a Super Bowl just to be there.
Yeah.
Or I'm even cool on like a playoff game or something too.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's kind of hard to swallow like a $5,000 ticket price for nosebleeds, right?
Right. I know. It's crazy now. All right. Who's on your laminated list?
Laminated? You'll have to explain that.
Okay. You explain it.
Well, I mean, it's celebrity crush. Like who you get a hall pass from Kimmy. And
Oh, okay.
Do you think Kim would ever give you a hall pass?
I don't know.
She had a
He's
long.
kinda
She had a long laminated list.
Oh,
She gave us a long.
She's
list.
kind
Really?
of she's kind of a jealous,
It was a long
jealous
list.
girl. I don't think she would like you to be have a laminated list.
She's a little jealous. She is a little
She
jealous.
said she is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you had a hall pass and you could either have sexy time with someone or just hang out with
with them.
someone that you're
Yeah.
like, it would be really cool to hang out
Like
with.
mine's
this person.
Adam Sandler.
But
Oh,
not
I
for
know
sexy
that.
time.
All
She
day.
just wants to laugh with someone and also like Kathy Bates with them
Yeah.
and Misery.
So it used to be like when I was younger, it'd probably be like a Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Kim knows
Oh,
this and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. She knows.
And then now it'd probably be more like a Paige Spiranak, the golfer, female golfer,
Oh, there you
or,
go.
or like Dua Lipa or something. Yeah, that
Good one.
Eastern European.
Good one.
So would you want to play golf with
I would love to play golf with Paige.
Yeah, there you go.
Who's your Bravo crush?
Bravo crush.
Bravo, like Real Housewives or Southern
Or-
Charm or
Vanderbilt.
I
like
wouldn't- I don't
John
even know.
loves Stassi. Like John
yes.
loves
Oh my
Stassi.
gosh. Yes.
From
It's hard.
Vanderpump.
Vanderpump.
Well, because after you know some of the characters, you're kind of like, eh. They're kind of like ick.
Like, no, thank you. You're nuts.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, they're all kind of attractive, but like if
Yeah.
you're talking about like fantasy,
Yeah.
usually the guys
like Ramona.
steer like under 40, It's like, you're just mentalness about it.
Well, they say don't meet your heroes. Is that not that all the Bravo people are heroes,
Wow.
but I get it. Where is a place that you would love to travel?
I enjoyed our trip. We went to Europe, and
They had a
bopped around.
great
Yeah, we
trip.
had a blast and started in Amsterdam and went through down the Rhine and visited a bunch of places in Germany and
That's
some France
awesome.
and stuff. But yeah, I'd like to, go back to, I was in the mid 90s. I went to Europe and went extensively through, Italy, and so I would love to do that again with Kim and definitely do some traveling like Italy and probably like London again and
Yeah.
definitely spend some time in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get on.
Yes.
We'll get that. We'll
Yeah,
get on that.
for sure.
It's coming
Yeah.
up. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna
And
happen.
see actually more of the states because there's a lot of the states I hadn't seen.
know.
We growing up, my parents would be more about like going to the Caribbean and stuff, and we did some cruises and stuff like that. And so towards the end, especially when they were getting ready to retire, kind of like the last 5 years before they retired, we went on a bunch of trips. So that was a lot of fun as a teenager going on those trips and stuff around the holidays, especially we would go. And so we had a blast on some of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Jamaica and, places like that.
How
I
fun. I
know
love that. What are some of your 3 mad loves? Like things that you just love so much, like you either love doing or watching.
He loves taxes. He loves working.
Well, yeah. That's why they call it work. It's not supposed to be fun. Stockenbojer. Back when I was at IBM, that's what I would say. My boss. It's not supposed to be fun. So anyway,
Agreed.
yeah. Oh, well, definitely golf. That would be like top of the list there.
Top
right?
is
Like,
golf. Well, yeah. Now family, that's already. But what?
Yeah,
So
of course.
golf.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
things.
3 mad loves.
Oh, yeah,
not
I-
including your family and your friends.
Yeah, that's
yeah. But,
yeah. I
so
thought
golf.
That's what the question was.
Golf,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, the golf. I love going to like concerts, stuff like that,
Mhm.
and then good
Music.
restaurants, good food,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And
Right. I love that. So,
Who's your favorite music?
yeah.
I mean, you're all over the place.
I am all
They're
over
going
the
to
place.
see like Billy Idol tomorrow.
Mhm.
I love that you
Yeah.
guys are doing
I
that.
know.
Yeah,
They,
so it's-
I mean, he always gets the tickets. Adrian's like, we're going to Billy Idol
Oh,
and Kenny
fun.
Chesney. I mean, that's such a variety of.
Oh, that's very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, and the country thing's not really my jam, but I'll get into it,
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'm going more for the Sphere because I'm sure
No.
we won't be able to. There'll be like ants on the stage, but we'll be able to,
Yeah.
just
went to
the
the
whole
Sphere.
experience. The
He
whole
saw
experience.
the Grateful Dead,
Oh, I bet that
and
was
he
crazy.
said it was really
Dead and Company,
amusing.
yeah.
I bet that was
He said it was
crazy.
really cool. He was at a work trip and he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go to the Grateful Dead. He just kind of went by himself and he just hung out and watched everything.
Took a gummy and
Probably.
Yeah.
he said, I'm just going to go.
Why not?
Lovely. Watch Andy Cohen dance to John Mayer.
For sure. I love it. Okay, so you have some kiddos. What are some wishes you have for your kiddos?
Well, as you know, we see how Jake progresses. Like, we want the best for him. We want him to be the best version of himself. You know, so that would be really our goal. You know, y'all have been instrumental, you and Kim and everybody, and the women have been big advocates for all the kids.
Yeah.
I know. And y'all's
fought hard.
connection with each other in this autism community and the big like hurdles and challenges that you guys have had to overcome. And then just the fact that y'all stick so close together and you have each other's backs and there's nobody else that understands it to the degree from even me, like, you know, so close with Shelly, I can't understand the day-to-day that you guys experience. And I mean, y'all have been through some rough situations with, you know, all of the kids.
Autism.
Yeah.
Autism.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's
hard. I mean, you love the boys and you love like each other and you really connect with each other, but it's not an easy world to live in.
It's a war zone.
It can be a war zone for sure. Yeah. It's harder than people know.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking at, it's a spectrum. So you have some people that have mild autism or, you know, and then you have people with more severe. And then even the moderate is so challenging, you know. But I mean, you guys do it with such class and
well, you gotta laugh.
And y'all do.
To keep from crying
You
sometimes.
have your times that I just see y'all just go, oh man, I cannot believe
Well,
this.
thank goodness we have this support group.
Yes.
And we can all like tag out and regroup and you know that you have the guys and y'all can go up to the nest and take a breather and play golf and relax. We're very thankful for that.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that Adrian has
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, we need to get Steve to be able to do it again. We need to find a good
Steve
caretaker.
hasn't missed a beat.
Oh, good. I thought he didn't have a caretaker, so he was just
He just brings Logan with him.
We roll with it.
Yeah, like,
he's
Logan,
just
you're in there. Go hang out over there.
We'll see you in a little
We're going to
bit.
go hang out over here.
Yeah.
Well, and
hasn't
they're
skipped a beat.
the autistic kids. I mean, it's just hard. They're unpredictable,
Yeah.
right? So they can be going even keel for months, and then all of a sudden they just throw a curveball, and then you're navigating that. And even when you try to cover every base there is at any given time, it's still not enough, right?
No, you can prepare all day long, but there's no.
So if you were going to give a family starting the journey that you guys have been on, what are some, I mean, I can already think of some advice that you guys could give. What's your biggest advice that you would give to someone starting this journey with a child
Good one.
with autism?
Good question.
Yeah, I would say, well, definitely get like signed up with all the bulletin boards and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, even like when we were going through Pandas with Jake,
Yeah.
Kim got on the bulletin board there. Even when we had like the worst of the worst days and you couldn't, how could this get any worse? Somebody always had it worse than you.
Yeah.
Like they would be putting it out there and people kind of at the end of their ropes and stuff with the Pandas until we got him healed.
No.
I wouldn't say he's never healed, but got him a lot better and more stabilized.
It seemed like with Pandas, it goes into remission in a way, and then it comes back. It can come back, and you have your flare-ups.
The flare-ups,
yeah.
We can kind of see them coming. We kind of see the amping up and things like that. And, you know, and we had that flare and a day mark there last year. Of course, that was obviously that whole other incident there. We don't need to get into
Lots
that.
of factors.
No, there's so many contributing factors to why a flare-up can happen because it's like an attack on your immune system and
which is a lot of times triggered by anxiety and stress.
For sure. So it's a lot like an MS situation. So so that's very challenging. So get involved with the groups. build your connectors.
My biggest
build a
advice is
support
it's
system.
a marathon.
It is a marathon.
Don't blow your wad.
Yep.
It's a long game.
It is a long game.
People dive in so aggressively, at that early and burn themselves out so early on.
Yeah. I mean, do the early intervention, but also take breaks when you need to.
Yeah.
Get
This
your
is a
support
long,
system.
lifelong game, unless you're Jenny McCarthy and you can cure autism. I don't know how you do that, but
I do think that having a great partner support system, but watching you and Kim, Egon partner through it, you and Kim partner through it, you and Adrian partner through it, and you and Adrian partner through it, I think is very key because you have to have that tap out. It's almost like you're in a wrestling, arena.
Oh, that's hilarious. Like we're like,
your turn. Okay, my turn.
Raw.
Your turn. My turn.
Like raw.
We made stuff up like let's put them in a ring and then televise it. Like, a little campfire songs we've made up over the years. We kept adding to it every time we went out.
That's
and
so
the
fun.
autism song, and stuff.
So one thing that saved Kim and I is the guys had a camping group.
Yes.
At the YMCA. That was awesome.
Oh my God.
The Adventure Guys.
The Adventure Guys. It was so lovely. So like one weekend a month, they would take the guys camping and we would get a break. And it was like, oh, those were like, it saved the day.
And during the school year, it was like one a month.
Yeah.
And actually, Shelby counted them up, the ones they went on, and we were in it before Shelby and Steve got involved. And I think she said it was like 70-something campouts. So that meant we went on like over 80 campouts in like a 12-year stretch.
Yeah,
it
was
they
so
were about
incredible.
15, 16.
I remember when y'all
we kept lying because the age limit was 14, and I kept saying 13.
Like,
Develop, kick us out.
Developmentally
we were the best
8.
group. I mean, and Steve's involvement in the core, the lady who ran the program, and like playing one of the characters at the campfire and stuff, Misimu or something it was, kept us on the end. We got the best campsites.
Yeah.
And then usually the ones with water would be able to bring the jet skis, and we'd have them parked right there, or the boat, and have it like anchored right there
That was so
at the
fun.
campsite. So we had a blast.
Yeah.
And then Enchanted Rock during spring break, which is like really hard to get.
It is, yeah.
That time of year, to have those like premier campgrounds at certain times of year was amazing.
We both have RVs now.
It was all done for you. Everything was done. You just showed up.
They just showed up.
And it was all camping. And Adrian would bring the egg out and cook some mean brisket.
I remember he would take his egg with him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd help him load it up. I'd come to the house like Thursday night, help him load it up.
That scared me so bad.
It's like, that is made out of porcelain.
It's so heavy.
It's very, very heavy.
Very heavy and breakable.
Yeah.
Well, it did break.
After all those, hey, we got a lot of mileage out of it.
Oh, yeah. No, it was Henry and Hayden were using it for a film, and they pushed it.
Oh, that's right. They were doing a film. That's right. Dad, I broke the egg. Adrian.
Dad, I broke the egg.
Oh, chasing him down the street.
I feel like. One time, our sister Casey wrecked our family's car into somebody's like wall. I'll never forget this. She was eating Taco Bell and she was putting the sauce on and she was driving with her leg and she ran into the neighbor's wall. And we all went down to check on her. And then Mom starts like hitting her in the street. And she was like, I was just trying to put my hot sauce on my taco.
I don't remember that.
I mean, and she did kind of damage the car, but I'm just thinking about
back when
somebody
cars were made out of metal.
I know, and it was like a big car, and I'm sure Adrian wanted to chase down the street.
I was like,
I would have.
I was like, did you get the shot at least?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I've been falling down.
I know. It's like, I'm glad
gosh.
I didn't fall.
Well, at least
anybody
nobody got
because
hurt.
I know.
Because those things are heavy.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. John found this like old egg, and it's like probably about,
It's a little miniature one.
it's probably about 2 feet tall, maybe 2.5, but it's small.
Yeah.
And he has it. He was going to make it into a planter or something. It's just sitting in the backyard. I was like, what are you going to do with that thing? Just sits
It's
there.
such a cult.
Oh my gosh. Do you miss camping? You don't really have time to camp because you're doing everybody's taxes.
Yeah, we camp sometimes. And I mean, we've gone, around Christmas time, and now, Jake being gone most of the time. I could still go camp with the guys and stuff. I mean, we'll have fun. But yeah, we're not having those like every month and then finding the time to do that even in the busy time of year, right?
Yeah.
As long as it wasn't around like a major deadline, I would definitely try to make it. So
Do you tent camp or do you?
we tent camped, yeah. And then, now Adrian's got the trailer, and so we'll get like
they
two
have a
sites.
trailer too.
Oh, that's
So
right.
y'all get a trailer. We'll all go out.
Egon, how tall are you?
I'm a 6'2".
Yeah, I don't think you'd fit in the casita.
The casita, yeah.
I mean,
No.
we're like even sardines in there, but also we have our giant dog, so she takes up a big portion of it. It's more like just being outside. We're not really in there, so
Just to sleep and
it's to
cook a little
sleep
bit.
and cook.
No, the casitos are cool. They really pack a lot in a
They
small.
do. It's a really smart design,
Mhm.
very smart design. John got the idea from your father-in-law, Shelly.
That's right. Yeah.
Wayne.
Wayne.
Gator.
The
gator.
gator. The
Love the
gator.
gator.
Yeah. So,
Well, I can't wait for the weather to get warm so we can all hang out in Shelly's backyard and then, get to go on an adventure. And we'll all have to plan a trip together sometime. I think that would be good.
yeah,
And
we're down for it.
yeah, I'd love to do the camping with all of y'all. I think it'd be fun.
I think we'll all be in Jackson Hole in December together.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Go to Jackson Hole and freeze our booties off.
That's right. Yay. Amen.
Well, this has been fun. You are I have to tell you.
Crawfish boil to get to.
I know, but I just have to say, I love your love for Adrian. And I love your love for Kim, and obviously how you are with Shelly, and you've just been such a great friend to all of us. We just think the world of you, and we just
We're
wish
fan club.
the very best for you
Fan
and your
club
family.
members.
We're definitely fan club members. So thanks for coming all this way up
Thanks.
north.
Well, it's right next to his office. This is right down the street
I used to have
from
a
his
client
office.
like right over here.
Yeah.
It's been nice getting to know even more about you. I knew some of this, but I didn't know everything.
Yeah.
This is really great. So
Right, that he was a frat boy.
I didn't know that.
That's
I didn't know
hilarious.
that. Can you see? He won't show me his
I
handshake.
know.
We didn't even talk about the mafia stories and stuff.
Oh, we're gonna have to get into that next time.
What's a mafia?
Well, growing up in the Northeast, we were it was everywhere back in the
for
70s
real?
and stuff. Oh, yeah, for real.
Did you ever work with the mafia?
No, I was a kid. I mean, I was a little kid, but I made observations that later kind of dawned on you like, oh, what happened to your dad? He's like, oh, he's on vacation. Well, he was a hitman.
Wow.
He went to camp.
Yeah, he went to camp, all right, for 15.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Nice.
Those are your neighbors.
We find out later, yeah, it was like right next door,
Oh,
and
my
stuff. And
gosh.
little stories and just little things that happened. It's like, what are you doing with these pallets of CB radios in your garage?
Oh, wow.
Hey, keep your mouth shut. None of your business
None,
and keep
yeah.
your mouth shut kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It's just little things that dawn on you later, but you're like 6 years old. So
Oh, wow.
I would definitely keep my mouth shut
Uh-huh.
for sure.
Oh, my
but
God.
later you're like, oh, that's what was going on.
Yeah, we had the same thing with gangs. We were like, oh, they were
Oh.
a gang member. I had no idea.
I had no idea.
Wow.
But we had a
Oh.
lot of protection from the gangs.
Yeah, they
They
liked
protect-
it.
And actually, we never had a break-in in our neighborhood because my friend's dad was kind of like, I would say, a sympathizer, not a really part of the mob. But so we never had break-ins, and and actually because they ran all the sanitation, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, when somebody'd say, "Oh, hey, you don't have to, pick up our trash for 3 weeks," and they'd be like, tip somebody off, and their house would get broken into.
Oh,
We never had that happen on our street.
nice.
He probably because he said leave everybody alone, and then it was just known to not pay. But we hear about all the stories around the streets around us.
What about your dad? I mean, he was in plumbing. Did he have to pay the mob?
They try because even the inspectors and stuff
Yeah.
were like all on the take and stuff, and he never played that game. So sometimes he wouldn't do like city contracts and stuff like that involved. But even sometimes the inspectors would. So he did a lot of work in Greenwich, which was next door, and they didn't have any of that funny business going on. So, but in Stamford and other places, but my dad was one of like 3 guys that could start doing like larger projects. There were only like 2 other players. And so, so
Was he a union member?
He was union, yeah.
Okay.
So he had the union guys and all that. But at one time, he had like 50 heads working for him.
Wow.
And so
Did you ever go to the Hamptons?
We did a couple of times. Yeah, that wasn't like our thing. That was more like New Yorkers went out there, you know.
Yeah.
Did you go to Martha's Vineyard?
We did Martha's Vineyard a couple times, and then we sometimes went down to the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
We've done that too.
Okay.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But we would travel a lot. Definitely Vermont and Maine and Boston and stuff like that.
What was your favorite place up there?
I liked going up to Toronto. We went up a couple of times. That was kind of cool, heading up that way and stuff. But Boston, I'd like to get back there because you're seeing it with different eyes from when you're a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been there in 20-something years.
Yeah, you could
more,
go to all the bars.
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
That's
that's. So I mean, we saw the touristy stuff, but then outside of that, it was
There's not much to do for a kid.
As a Southern person, I feel like the Northeast is like this magical place.
I do too.
I'm like,
I do too.
And we went to the Hamptons last summer and we lost our mind. We were like
Montauk. Oh my gosh, watching the sunrise was amazing.
What the hell is this?
So beautiful.
It's so gorgeous
and clean.
Yeah, you should take Kimmy up there.
Okay.
Yeah, she would love it. It was fancy. We found out what a moke was.
Yeah.
These fancy little golf carts that somebody got upset about us saying, well, that's a golf cart.
I like your golf cart. It's like, a moke.
It's a moke. It is not a golf cart.
A moke?
They're like $250K.
Yeah. Little golf carts.
Yeah.
We went to the Hamptons and we went to Cooper Beach and we looked at each other and said, why are we poor?
We did.
You're all staying at the Motel 6 and that's like $500 a night.
We stayed in a little
a cottage.
Yeah, it was a little cottage.
It was cute.
It was cute. Like a roadside motel kind of thing.
It was very
And the lady was very everything you would assume.
Oh my gosh. It was like Grey Gardens.
It was like Grey Gardens.
She was like Grey Gardens.
It was very
so
entertaining.
Funny. It was so funny. We had a
She was a hoarder and then we went into like get coffee in the morning and she's doing
This is a moke.
Oh, wow.
They're like $250K.
Dang.
The Kardashians have a bunch of them.
She would be doing her morning exercise with her
with her exercise, her thigh master.
While she was her thigh master.
The host?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So was it like the commercial with Sabin?
So funny.
Yes.
like in the hot tub with y'all. And,
yeah.
It was very
checking in 5 minutes early.
Like she'd have her continental breakfast on the side while she's doing her exercises.
While she was watching
she's talking
the morning
to
show.
You, and you're just like, what is going on here?
It was so surreal.
It was so funny.
It was so funny.
It was fun. We had a blast.
It was a great.
I want to go back.
I know. I love that area.
Well, this is great.
Thank
you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We love you.
Have fun at the crawfish boil.
Yes. Texas.
Yeehaw.